If you've been paying attention, there's been a lot of change occurring in terms of what healthcare looks like in Australia and beyond in the coming years. Now, this week, I think would probably be the biggest event that we've seen. Two events on the same day. Check it out. We're going to explore this, and we're also going to have a look at this as we go into episode 49 of the Higher Living Show with Chad. Thank you. Now, if you're a patient, let's ask this question of why would this matter for you? Why does it matter in terms of who's providing the care or who's providing the scripts? Because at the moment, there is that continual dialogue that we keep on hearing about that we reported heavily on last year around what we see the spotlight being on Australian patients, potential access in the industry of the MC, medicinal cannabis market, and the attention to detail that has been missing and the lack of evidence that many are citing as the reasons for potential changes. Now, we've been speaking about changes. We've seen a few changes being suggested and tabled, but nothing at this stage. Now, one of the things that you hear about regularly is there's no money in clinics. There's no money to be made in clinics. And that's why we've seen a lot of the circumstances unfold in the Australian industry where doctors and clinics are incentivized to provide certain scripts. This is fairly rampant. And we've seen this, during these last 18 months particularly, become very evident. And so what that indicates is that the only focus, the way that clinics can survive is by what's called vertical integration, right? So if you have a look at the Australian market and where we are at, vertical integration means that we will have a supplier of medicines up the top, and then below will be a clinic which is then distributing some of the medicines. You also have other models where vertical integration exists. However, it's not only the products that they own that they're selling, but there could be a wider range of products, but it is all under one umbrella or separate organizations that come together. Talk that vertical integration model is no longer going to exist. I don't necessarily believe that that is the right way to go. I think we need to look at healthcare in a way where we need to be able to monetize. You need to be able to commercialize what healthcare looks like to be better and to provide better access. And so if we look back to what we strongly believe, and we strongly believe that those that own the tech stack, those that have the proprietary technology that run their clinic are going to be the clear winners. And let's look at why we believe that. If we're going to go back to when the cannabis industry started, we've got CDA. You got CDA Clinics, and they introduced CanView. They introduced a proprietary technology, and that enabled them to scale rapidly and be able to monetize off that significantly. We then saw the rise of Montu, through this vertical integration approach where you've got Alternaleaf that operates under them. And it's not just selling their products. Again, it's that wide range of products that are available. There's questions on whether they go about it, but also they're providing access, right? They're providing access, and more recently, they're trying to lead the march to look at how do we ensure that things like telehealth remain a possibility, which I think all patients would want. And if you don't want that, you can easily just go and see your doctor, but you should have an access to telehealth, and you've got to give credit to Montu for pushing for that. So hats off to them. And again, what do they have? They've got that proprietary tech stack. Now have a look at where we're going. So we said this week there's been huge news. Emyria are coming in, and they've got that massive funding, which is fantastic for mental health patients. Moving ahead, they see the opportunity in terms of the clinic. And then we see Mind Medicine Australia starting a JV, and what is their focus on? Their focus is on the clinic. Then we have a look outside of these areas. And if you have a look at the biggest shifts that we see occurring in healthcare, it is a B2C shift. That is a shift to the consumer. The consumer is willing to pay for different medicines. The consumer wants different choices. The consumer wants convenience. And you've got companies like Eucalyptus that are really profiting and providing access to individuals for GLP-1s, which is Ozempic and the new class, the multiple classes of similar peptides that are coming through increasingly and will be available. And you've got companies like Eucalyptus that are providing that digital model, like digital clinics. They've got their own tech stack again. So if we have a look at from these emerging areas in healthcare, we've got a number of winners that have done very well, and consistently the theme has been control the tech stack, control the story, rather than buying off-the-shelf tech. How good is this hypothesis? Well, the entourage effect, we've seen that they've also launched their new product, which is interesting. So if we're familiar with that, do believe that they were the tech company behind CanView, and they've gone into a relationship together, and they're launching a free service to clinics. But what is their focus again? Their focus is on the delivery of care, trying to control that experience. And while so many people believe that clinics don't make money, why is there such focus on clinics